Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome to today's Powerboost. So our topic today is, it's what you take with you that matters. And of course, I know you've heard it said that you can't take it with you. So we are departing from that very much today with this topic, which I expect that you can find very useful and very empowering. So I had occasion to be at the funeral of a family member and friend recently, and I couldn't help but notice that what often goes overlooked when we leave this mortal plane. And that is that the focus is usually on where we've been and what we've done and how well. In other words, the past. Seldom is there any mention of where we're going and what impact the life we've led may have on our future. It's as if we have no future. So I want to remind you that there's no past without a future, and vice versa. The past informs the future. And since we all have to leave, however, we ought to be making plans not only with regard to those we are leaving behind, but especially with regard to our own future. And so that you can't take it with you, and therefore whatever of value you accumulate is passed on, so it can be put to use by your beneficiaries, is usually the focus. What about you, though? You that are leaving. There are things that will matter to you beyond the grave. Those are the things you can take with you. Again, this is contrary to the notion, of course, that we'll all meet again someday. Though this happens to be true, it is as souls that we meet, not bodies. So though we don't see each other again, we do meet each other again. Bodies don't meet in the first place. We meet as souls, playing our parts, not as bodies. The body is just the costume. Bodies don't have relationships with each other. Souls do. Which is why every relationship you're enjoying now comes to an end when you leave. And there's no renewal of that relationship when that body is put into the ground. It dissolves. You continue on, cycle after cycle. So we might say resurrection, no. Reunification, yes. For this family member that had passed on, all the right boxes could be checked. Good father and husband, caretaker, generous to a fault, very friendly and amiable and pleasant demeanor, economical and hardworking. an all-around good guy, such that he was eulogized as someone who, when thought of, good name comes up, which is by design and not by default, as there are others for whom good riddance would come up. So, of course, his was not accidental. So what would empower you today and the rest of your life is taking full advantage of every moment to accumulate the things that can go with you. The sum total of all that earned my friend and family member a good name is what you can take with you. None of these fine qualities can be attributed to your body. These are your qualities and attributes, which while you still have time in the body you're in, you're able to multiply tenfold. So yes, take care of the physical legacy, which I remind you has a shelf life. The spiritual legacy doesn't. And it is to that you ought to be paying a lot more attention. It's the best investment you could make. Unlike the physical, these spiritual assets don't diminish when spent. They increase. So if you want to leave here wealthy, don't miss any opportunity today and every day to do those things that matter. Kindness, generosity, compassion, loving, forgiving, spreading cheer and magnanimity and selflessness. This will guarantee you a wealthy future, one that you can take beyond the grave, beyond the physical. From this perspective, no need for lamentation by your loved ones, friends, and beneficiaries. And for you, no need for dread and apprehension. Life is not as mysterious as you might think. Unfortunately, all the answers lie in the subliminal and subtle, which means you have to start going there to get answers. We have to turn inward from the outward fog in which we are preoccupied and lost. We're like ships without rudders in the dark, taking our lead from whatever or whomever we can see in front of us, whoever happens to be, who happens to be blind as well as different ships. And as I mentioned before, different ships, same storm. Robert Frost tells us that the only way out is through. Better yet, the only way out is inward to your higher self that is waiting to enlighten you with the wisdom from within that you've overlooked for so long. So you need look no further than within for answers. Take a moment now and turn off the noise and listen. The noise soon diminishes, and you'll start to hear the sound of your own voice. It doesn't speak to you in words. It's in the silence that the right thoughts emerge from where they've been forced under from the focus without. Those barriers, once removed, will give you rise. Listen and be amazed at your own wisdom. The shaman you've been looking for is you. And so I say that because, as I mentioned earlier, all that you've been in search of is within. All of the inspiration and all of the guidance and direction that you'll ever need will come the more you quiet yourself and listen, because it allows you to make that connection with the Almighty Authority. And it is that connection, once maintained, that allows you to grow in truth, in spirit, in love. And you will find that you begin to reflect that outward. And so this deep introversion that we encourage you to engage yourself in as a daily discipline will get you to a place of spirit, a sense of well-being, and you can put behind you all of the past that you may have reason to regret, and that you can look forward to a future, an endless future, by the way, a future beyond the physical, because essentially you are spirit, you are forever, you are eternal, and you need not be afraid of the past or the future. And so you can be empowered today to have reason to rise every morning and use every moment, actually use every thought, so that you are uplifted. You should treat that space within as a seat reserved only for the Almighty, only for He who would direct you onward and upward. You are not unworthy. You are more than worthy. And so, no matter how you see yourself at this very moment, keep in mind that every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. And so, begin today to foster a future that gives you that power, that self-sovereignty. Don't delay. Start today.